Girl, welcome to Brandy's Backyard. Today we're going to make Flitter Jacks. Flitter Jacks are fried cornbread. My Aunt Vicky actually named them Flitter Jacks, and we've just kept that name because we like it and it's just pretty cool. So the secret to this fried cornbread, I'm going to say it, is lard. I know, lard gets such a bad name. I would encourage you to do your own research on lard. Now, I'm not saying that you should eat a tablespoon of it a day or anything like that, but I'm just saying you should check into it. So, let me get all my ingredients together and let's get started. Hey girl, welcome back. So, let's get started on making these Flitter Jacks. But before we get started, let me tell you a little story about the Flitter Jack. My Aunt Vicky would make these with soup beans, and they were amazing. They were crunchy, they were golden, and I mean, they just melted in your mouth. They were like little nuggets of happiness. And I asked my Aunt Vicky, like, what do you do when you make these? And she told me the recipe, and she said, you just fry them in oil. Well, I went home, I followed exactly what she told me, but I fried them in vegetable oil. And they just did not have that crunchy goodness that she has when she makes them. So I called my cousin Veronica, which is her daughter, and I said, hey girl, like, what is the secret to this? Am I doing something wrong? And she started to giggle and she said, you cooked them in vegetable oil, didn't you? And I said, yes. She said, nope, you can't do that. The secret to it is lard. So I researched lard and I found out that it is not as bad for you as it's been portrayed, I guess, especially to my generation. So I just encourage you to check into it, to get on reputable sites on the internet and just see what you think. I'm not saying that you need to eat it every day, but I think that when you make it as a treat for yourself, it's okay. All right, let's get started. Okay. So the secret to this recipe, like I said, is dun dun dun, the lard. And I have about a half a cup of lard, and you can just play this by ear because all you're using this for is to cook it, okay? You are not putting it in the actual recipe, so it doesn't need to be measured perfectly. I am going to start with 3/4 cup self-rising cornmeal. So let's go ahead and pour that in to the bowl. And I have right here a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, because the self-rising flour, I believe, already has a little salt in. I'm sorry, the self-rising cornmeal already has a little bit of salt in it, I believe. Okay, so when you're making these, you want this batter to be the consistency of pancake batter. I'm going to turn my stove on medium heat. Then I'm going to add the lard. I'm going to let the lard heat up while I actually put the water into my dry ingredients. So let me just get this in my pan. All right. So, I've started out with a 1/2 cup of water. You need to add this about a tablespoon at a time because you want it to, like I said earlier, to be the consistency of pancake batter. So you just want to kind of start out slow because, you can't take away once you add the water. So I'm just going to mix it in, and then when it gets to the consistency that I want, we will start frying it. So I ended up adding about a 1/4 cup more, and I want you to see the consistency here. It's like pancake batter. All right, so the oil is heated up, so let's get started making these Flitter Jacks. And let me tell you, it is going to be a party on your taste buds. So let's do this. So I'm just going to take a ladle full of batter, and I'm just gonna put it into the pan and let the lard work its magic. I'm gonna do a couple of these at a time. This is a small recipe. It really doesn't make that many, but If you want to double it, you can sure do that.
I wanted you to see how these little golden nuggets of happiness look while they are bathing in lard. Wow, listen to that sizzle. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to wrap my lips around these.
All right, it's my favorite time of the day. It's taste test time. So I cannot wait to try these. So let's get started. Oh my gosh, they're so crispy. Oh, they're like crispy and chewy and just like a party in your mouth. You know, you don't need to add butter to these because they were just cooked in lard, but I'll tell you something that I do like to put on them is chow chow. It just, oh my gosh, it just makes them even better, which I don't know is possible. And I think that I love these so much because they remind me of my Aunt Vicky and my family in Kentucky. I can tell you, when we go visit, we are so happy because it is like you can feel the love as soon as we pull up in the driveway. And I feel so blessed to have a family like that. But I hope when you try these, you love them. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. And I'll see you next time. Hey girl, it's Brandy's backyard.